Welcome back. You're watching 101. We're speaking with Iraqi-born artist Ahmed Alsoudani. Ahmed, you ended up in Washington, D.C., out of the blue, from Syria. Next thing is you're walking into the White House to look around as a tourist. How was the adjustment?
It's just like a dream. I never hide these things. When I say it was like a dream, some friend, they said I'm exaggerated, but it's not. It's something, it's beyond what I was thinking. To be in a place, I like Syria, and it was great to be in Damascus, but beyond all these things, I technically, like I can claim I start my life when I got to DC, to United States.
Although your artwork started in Damascus, that's when you first started taking the art seriously, didn't you?
Yeah, it was really, I had few really bad paintings. I thought they were good, but they're horrible. But you know, there's the standards different there. So I even sold some of them.
Well, how did you make that transition? Then you went from, you arrived in DC, and then before long you were up at Maine College of Art.
I knew when I got to, actually I tried to go to art school when I was in Syria, but they didn't let me. It's complicated over there. But so when I got to the airport, there is my caseworker actually from Iraq, his name is Adil, very nice guy. So I asked him, I want to go to art school, and our way from the airport to my apartment. So he told me, just chill, man, it's too early for that. But after that, there's a lot of people helped me out, and I started applying for school to study English after that.
Because you'd come with very little English, hadn't you?
Actually, it's none. I mean, you can tell right now my English is still bad, but it's even like it was really bad when
it's better than my Arabic, so at least.
Yeah.
But let me ask you what happened, because I know when you were in Damascus, you'd met an American couple from DC who actually saw your art and they took an interest, and I think that was a turning point too, wasn't it?
Yeah, they helped me. Like they said, you can apply. We will help you out if you will get to DC. So if I will get to DC, I mean, I don't need that much help, but they encouraged me to do it. Actually, probably say something to them, people in the office. So my case went very smooth in the beginning, so I was lucky.
And then from Maine on to Yale, which is quite a big jump as well.
Yeah, I think so. I'm kind of, after all this difficulty, all these years, my problem even now, I have very high standard, and which is really bad, but I cannot. It's part of my personality. So to me was the goal to go to a Yale art program, which it's one of the best, if it's not the best. But it's extremely difficult to get in. So, but always, I'm very lucky to meet with a lot of people who help me out. I don't think I'll be able to do it by myself.
You leave much of your work untitled. Why?
I don't know, probably because I love poetry, and I did read a lot of poetry, and I knew sometimes I try to title, so I go crazy with the details of title. But this one thing. But on the other hand, I do feel, but this is my opinion, I do feel when I title the work that will guide the viewer in a specific direction. And always I think about my painting has more than one layer, one direction, more reading. So I don't feel comfortable with the title so far.
So you don't, is there no particular message you want to get across in the painting then?
I don't know about that message, but I'm addressing very, at least for me, very important issues, very social issues. War is one element of them.
You're an Iraqi-born artist, and you were in a part of America where you were quite unusual. I wonder what sort of influence were people trying to have on you when you came there?
Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's bad, because always when it comes to my painting, they make very quick reading and connection between my background and my works, which is sometimes I feel like you're insulting my work because you don't have that much, you're not willing to spend that much time to read it. So
I gather there was a time you just started a canvas, a little patch on the canvas, and someone thought that was the complete work.
Yeah, this is like my funny part when I was at Yale. people have a different opinion, so it's really.
But you were influenced a lot by German expressionists, Otto Dix and George Gross. And what was it about their work you could relate to?
I have a very long list of people that great artists, master that I steal from.
Is it theft?
Yeah, you have to be good to steal, otherwise you'll imitate, which is bad. So you have to reach, so I'm giving myself a very good compliment. So I go shopping, the history of painting is really great, otherwise it's a huge advantage. So you will see more than 10, 15 influence in my work. But it's really, they will remind you of these names, but it's really hard to go and point out there's specific part relate to specific artists.
You also combined drawing with painting. That was a turning point too. How did that come about?
I was more familiar with drawing because, you know, we grew up with like using a pencil and paper, and almost everyone do like doodling. And when I was grad school, when I was undergrad, yeah, and they mentioned a few things. Like I do have a kind of what they said is interesting color palette, and the line quality is powerful. This is their description. So they said it will be great if you can combine both of them. So it took me like more than 2 years to get to that point.
What do you think, looking back so far, and your life is still young, and God give you a long life, but what do you think, looking back, was the greatest challenge you faced?
I think it's too many. I don't really can say a specific one, but it's, I remember the way that I left Iraq, and I remember the way that I face these brutal years when I was in the last year in Iraq and the a few years in Syria, and I had such a great difficulty when I was in DC, but also I have to be fair, there's always people who support, otherwise I won't be able to continue.
Who do you consider your mentors? Were there any people that you say, without them it couldn't have happened, or they're the ones who gave me a guide in life?
Yeah, this is what I keep saying. It sounds funny when I said I'm lucky, but I had a lot of difficulty again. But every single situation in my life, there is always people help me out. When I was in DC, there's a guy who helped me big time to fill up the application and sent me to school to start learning English. Without him, his name is Benjamin. I don't remember his last name, but without him, it was really hard for me to go to school in DC. When I was in Maine, there is Iraqi family, my friend. Actually, I don't even call them friends. Right now, it's family, my family, who helped me a lot to settle the first few months in, when I got to Portland. So I can apply. I stayed with them for a few months, and they helped me financially, and they offered me a place to stay. And from there, I started applying for a school. In Maine, there's also a lot of people, teachers and friends. And in New York, in my galleries, people like Cassie and Robert and the staff, they are taking care of everything. So it's, they are making my life very smooth.
In spite of your incredible success as an artist, I should point out that you have lived a number of years in exile. You've been away from your family. Your father passed away while you were in Maine. You didn't get to say goodbye to him properly. You haven't spoken, well, you've spoken to your mother, but you haven't seen her in 15 years or so. How has that experience affected you as a person, and how much is reflected in your art?
I think what you just mentioned is playing a huge and major role in my works. I found myself in the area which I call like between. I'm in United States and the United I cannot escape the idea I'm from Iraq. I born there, and unfortunately the United States involved directly in Iraq, and my family and my friend, they are not in a safe situation. So it's very difficult to deal with it, but I don't think. I knew it's hard, but I don't give up on it. So it's provide me with too many unique, painful things.
And it's tough too, because you get to see things like Baghdad burning through a television screen when you know all those places in person. These are the places you've been to.
Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned in life?
It's really hard for me to answer that question.
Maybe that lesson is still to be learned.
Yeah, I guess.
Then what is it you would like to achieve in the long run?
My work, it's the most important thing for me, so I wish the painting a good life.
Of course, your work will remain as a legacy. It'll be there for you, you know, after you've gone. But how would you like to be remembered?
I want my name to be around the art school, so people will, art students will always go look at it.
I wish you luck. Ahmed, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Pleasure.